Free jazz, wrong note in right place, right note in my throat, on my throat. Sing you songs of how you look in my eyes. You have never seen yourself outside mirrors, huh? You jazz, huh? Yeah. You jazz, you free, you jazz. Ice on a hot palette, paint my body with sharp tones, flat lines, callous whistles, air, wind, whirls, world. God shows himself in your skin. Ba 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 da da ba ba. Bum ba da 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 boom 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 boom. Ba da boom 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 boom. Baby, 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 baby. You jazz free and free jazz. You are free jazz. Wrong note in right place, right note in my throat. Sing you on my throat songs of how you look in my eyes. You have never seen yourself outside of mirrors, huh? You jazz, you, huh? Free jazz. You are free jazz. Ice on a hot palette, paint my body with sharp tones, flat lines, callous whistles, air, wind, whirls, world. God shows himself in your skin. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, boom, 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 boom. Baby, 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 ba-ba. It's my take of light. So I really wrote that too. I don't usually do the typical beat style poetry, but that was my take on it. Oof. I look at these poems and I'm like, that's too heavy. That's too heavy. That's too much. Try to keep it light. Good morning, people. Just in case you don't know, this is our 24-hour poetry marathon. I've been here since 6 p.m. I have not slept, and I will be here until 8 p.m. And there will be more people. We have a very talented young woman who goes by the name of Kara Lee. She just turned 17. She is a very, very prolific writer, years and years and years ahead of her time. She'll be here soon for you all's enjoyment. She has very inspirational poetry and some very heartbreaking poetry. But, yeah. I'm going to read you guys some, I'm going to try to keep it light so that you don't wear any of the poetry, so it's not like barbed wire on your lungs or anything. Alright, let's get into some personal pieces that aren't so heavy. There's a milk carton with a face that I used to be related to. I forgot her name, as most lovers forget the first time they got over their first time. I remember her smelling like misplaced things that is supposed to be cared for, like a baby's corpse or pipe bomb tripwire. I often scream her name backwards on my taste buds, scrape the scraps of sound from the back of my phlegm, and freeze time at the moment I conjure it up. It sits on the tip of my tongue like a wife in a window waiting for her son to come back from Al-Qaeda enlistment. Phone right there. Get it, Virgo? Press the end button.
Workshop?
Yeah.
Akeem's phone.
No, that's not that was an alarm.
Oh.
The exploding bomb pieces of him whisper, I forgot to say goodbye in a quick, thick quicksand vernacular. The way most bombs speak to their mothers. He is bile on my tongue, my ex-sister's exercise from my holy brain. My mother's eyes still rods moving her face in an emotional late-term abortion. Don't talk to milk cartons, she says. They have big mouths. We don't discuss dead things in our living room. We're afraid it might breathe her name in. We don't dwell in contradictions, and these walls don't talk. They scream. We find some room for freedom. Yay, we love home.
Dude,
Yeah.
I should have brought the zombie haiku book.
Rawr, rawr, brains. Zombie haiku. It's 16 grunts and brains at the end. Zombie haiku. This guy, I don't remember the guy's name. He did that poem, another poem, the haiku. The haiku is natural. Still there. Alright. Ooh, this isn't light. I will find something light. Alright, cool. I have poems about cats. That's light. No one will be upset if I do a poem about a cat. You guys are great. Just the fact that I know that you can hear me is enough. Thank you. On the instance of finding an angel balled up into a stray cat, feed it vegan pepperoni. If it hisses, hiss back. If it bites, kick its knees. Open your lap. It will want to tell you stories of heaven. These stories will one day save your life from the goblin you don't know is yourself, trying to see if you still have purple blood or not.
Man starts yelling, when there's no more room in hell, but then we eat him.
That's goofy. I met a stray cat once. It had crawled from my throat when I was 9. I only just stopped coughing up hair bones. It is the reason for my asthma. I never named the cat. I knew better than to claim what wasn't mine. We shared everything. Ate hairballs together, KFC, pieces of egg and toast, vegan pepperonis, secrets. I told it about my plans to kill my aunt. Not murder, kill my aunt, who had a thin tongue shaped like an S with 2 vertical lines through it. Eyelids of eviction notices, an esophagus made of lies, financial spider webs for hands. She swallowed stray cats, as most acrobats do, and spit up their wings. I told the cat this over cold tea and Munster cheese. It laughed, but I can tell it was scared. It listened to my problems, as most good listeners do, and soaked up my solitaire when its fur follicles. We even pissed on the same side of the house, on the same bush. Before I could distinguish gender among the phylums of our kingdom, it was a cat, genderless cat, the color of a melted creamsicle mistake. I have never had a friend like that. When it disappeared, it left me all my stuff on the front porch, a suicide note scribbled in Crayola, loneliness, half of a dead mouse, and a vegan pepperoni. I would imagine finding you balled up in the laundry chute or under a moving school bus, your bones melted from your gooey fur and blood pelt. You would taste like KFC and smell like orange creamsicle. When we were moving away, because my aunt blinked at us again, I thought I heard you whisper to me the only way your claws could. You are the reason I can't hear well out of my right ear. In the last car ride to my mother's sister's house, I looked back and I saw you. I may have just made you up, but you were there, sitting in the middle of the street, watching me drive away like a secret, seeing me off Like I was somebody important, and my aunt's car was a colonial train with your father or son in it. Like I was an angel on a mission to leave heaven in search of home. Alright, I'm going to read this poem about my old job to the full coffee house. And I got it, the newspaper. I like your hat. Nice. From November 29th, 2010 to January 24th, 2011, I worked at Malachi House, a donated piece of abandon converted to God's back pocket. A home of hope for 15 of Cleveland's luckiest, poorest contestants of terminal illness. Welcome to your first day on the job. For 3 months, I cared for the dying poor with every heart my body has to offer. I drank buckets of what looked like my grandmother's chewing tobacco reservoir. I hate coffee, but I needed, it's funny to say that in a coffee shop. I hate coffee. But I needed to be alive for them, even if they weren't for themselves. The routine. Coffee, turn, diaper change, breakfast order, water pitcher, disinfect. If you eat, clean, take out the garbage, coffees, turns, diaper changes, continue into your hands are chemotherapy. Your saliva is penicillin until you bloodhounds sniff out cancer cells. When you look in their eyes, know that they are going to die and that you are not working medicine. This is angel practice. The leader of death's bandit gang is always cancer. So many had cancer there. If you are ever blessed to be offered a piece of terminal illness from a dying woman, chew it. Let your fading saint know that you hate the taste just as much as they do. Tastes like cat piss coffee, Joe said. I don't remember the taste of coffee. I have forgotten the routine. 15 people died while I knew their names, first and last, like I knew how it feels to use my mother's stomach as a pillow and her blood as a blanket, her womb as a residence. A blind man knows the sound of his home, like I knew their death dates. The look on their faces when God stopped accepting their voicemails, and just how Reggie liked his applesauce. How Don didn't actually like sugar. He confessed to me. He just needed to feel and just wanted me to stay in his room longer. Wanted to remind his tongue of how obligation tastes. How Shirley flirted with me my first day of work and smiled. Her eyes, 2 children who knew their mother would abandon them at birth and decided to exist anyway. Death is a cruel joke parents play on their children. I am forgetting the routine. Was it coffee, turn your back, change your disposition, break faster, not fast enough, disinfect your smile, don't get attached. Understand, you will be playing double dutch with infections that use last breaths as rope. Don't trip. They cannot train me for disinfecting my humanity. Care, but don't take it with you. I care like a casket. It's the only thing that goes with us when we finally sleep and mean it. I can't remember who held my hand or which one called me handsome, who cussed me out first, who spit their illness in my pain for me to taste. I may have cancer soon. In the hinges of my jaws, when chicken pox plays battered mother to my immune system, it goes inside the bottom of my spinal cord. My memories, tucked safely in a blanket of brain fluid, are traveling into my jawbone. All I remember is not wanting to die of what I kept keeping them alive with, biting on their final days. Their names falling out of me like a miscarriage, thinking of coffee, makes my obligated tongue punch me in the jaw. And I'm still not working. I like reading poems I haven't read in a while. It means that I could like them again. I didn't hate that.
Look how strong their Wi-Fi is. They're at the. Oh no, there would be in my mind. Never mind.
Okay.
I was gonna say get you to be Mother's Day right there in front of the golf cart.
That would be fun. I wrote a poem about a rocket. I'm going to read it right now. I am the fearless leader of the Dragon in Poetry Slam. I wouldn't call myself fearless, but I'm pretty fearless right now. On looking at a rocket, the rocket pulls its trail, Halloween costume, white witch hair, stretched cotton swab thin. Air pressure spreads out, cotton still trailing, yanked railroad thick. Everything is still. Only the earth moves for us, dropping its shoulder strap, cirrus cloud seductively, a full Hottentot, claiming her autonomy from something too small to master it. I wrote a short poem about loving a man. I cannot love you pregnant or think you full of baby, but we can bring one in on a river of faith. Take 1,000 abandoned homes of butterflies, crush them into color, paint our home chrysalis, and watch as we give wings to fly away from us. We can save a world, baby. Two men can never love manly enough to create a child, never squeeze too tight or know that both of our noses are on that Mr. Potato Head gene pool of the baby. Please note, that doesn't mean we can't enjoy many failed attempts trying to make one. I guess I do have some light poetry. This is a work in progress. This is some light stuff. I don't really like this poem, but I'm going to read it anyway. Poems, poems, poems. We're going to keep reading poems until someone else reads. I am an atlas, holding up a universe that isn't mine, one that I will never live in, responsible for the continuance of the worlds of men. If I drop my arms, time would trip over its own feet while dancing on an Armageddon. I must hold up all of the ones I love. 5. I was in love with the fountain of youth once. I drank her laughter, swallowed myself into a baby. When I brought her to live with me, I caused the Great Depression, revealing that she was only made of regular water. She shattered the best friend pedestal I built for her at the tip of my tongue, crashing down on my palate full of doubt and desert. I learned to grow up forever. 4. The heaviest things humans carry are not actually touched at all. They are felt. 3. You are a shattered mirror, looking at its reflection through the eyes of a fly. You gave 7 pieces of yourself to men. They handed you back mirrors with their features on them. 7 times you smash your children. I saw a shattered mirror throw a high heel at the kidneys of his child today. The real fountain of youth, dripping from the eyes of her daughter, reflected that mirror's childhood in her face before she was a mosaic glass woman. As she saw her reflection for the first time in her beaten daughter, gasping for sharp pieces of air. As they say, ugly people break mirrors, broke mirrors break mirrors, hurt people beat their children till they morph into mirrors. Parents finally discovering how it feels to be the brick this time, too. One of my ex-little sisters called me with salt on her breath. She cried a grief cry, a Coretta Scott King cry, a forced abortion cry. I could hear the Lot's wife on the back of her tongue, a crumbling pile of mineral eroding herself away, each eye its own Sodom and Gomorrah. She understood that I am Lot and cannot look back on her. One. We often try to escape from the truths we create. Humanity forgets that problems are a man-made creation, that hate is taught. Infants speak love as language. The first time a baby smiles, get a cup. When she laughs, that cup full, drink it. This is the fountain of youth, our children. They are not mirrors. See yourself in their affection turn to sound. We atlases put the worlds of the world on our back, in our arms. How can you hug a poem binded by the responsibility of fallacies, buckling under the weight of Superman is a two-dimensional for a reason. Buckling under the weight of a life you weren't built to live. Drop the earth. It will bounce. They will live. My shoulder blades regurgitate the globe. My scars hang in the air. Rose petals of flowers, never given to my mother. My hands were too full of non-living things to do all that I could do. Love freely with open arms. Next. I'm going to read some OPP, other people's poetry. All right, let's start with Vladimir Surinsky. These next 2 poems are from Vladimir Surinsky. Brief history of coming to America. Not far from Jersey shores, I found out the streets are not paved with gold. Not knowing the language and much too young, declined to wear the crown of spoken word hipster. I'm sure I stood for a moment, a beggar of sorts, the mind outstretched as some passerby smiled to reassure me that one day I would be back. Kerouac, just down the street. As luck would have it, I found a winged horse and didn't travel down that road. The next one is called Umbrellas. Still by Vladimir Surinsky. It is all madness, random words, a lemon, apple, or tropical fruit in a wooden bowl. Small details shouting themselves hoarse on the cover. The poet's name wanting to become a bonfire, selling secrets to anybody crazy enough to climb a ladder, to get a peek at the next world. I've spoken with a man who had 10 umbrellas in the back seat for the homeless, who let me drive up the mountain road to discover how truly vulnerable we really are. The next poem I'm going to read is going to be by a poet by the name of Rose Smith. This poem is called Ethnic Woman Thing. So who was it who said black has to be a certain way? They let out long, disheartened groans just down the hill where I come from, singing expected rhythms and chants unanswered in the open fields. Why should anyone stop to hear my clear, incessant wail when life has long since taken on a different sort of hue? Perhaps I'm not what you expect. Perhaps I'm something new. Somewhere I lost the former words flavored with ethnic vinegar, colored by familiar, uncontrollable differences. They were so fragile as I tumbled them over and over on my aching tongue. I did not feel it when they fell to the ground forever broken. Never had a grip on all of that. Perhaps I imagined myself part of this proud and sweating people freed from their slave chain roots and slowly rising. Perhaps I longed to be a part while long ago rejected from my telltale proper tongue. No, I'm just not what you expect. Majestic, still, and powerful, perched on its little Alabama root, little signs of what remains. And though I've searched for it again, I find some white-tongued woman standing, welcoming the sun, rubbing Gentile lotion into middle-aged black skin, while all of me lies open here for you to comprehend. How do I tell her? Yes, it does. When my white-tongued daughter says it makes not difference. She has stored up treasures deep within, unaware that worlds of men will never stop to look below the surface. Now I'm going to read a poem by Keisha Nicole Foster. I like this poem. It's called Recollection from 2009. My friend Keisha Nicole Foster, she's a poet. My mind races to the wall, touches it, races back to the beginning, the end of it all. Memories replacing television sets in my house. Close my eyes, I view nights. Start at sundown, ends at sunset. Still sundown inside drug houses, dark inside. Destruction pounding on the bed springs within mattresses under me. Once before, I rode white horses, black bulls, and silver bullets like nobody's business. It wasn't. I made sure it was all mine. Repeating catchphrases, set phases of my life appear in chipped directional debuts, small screenings, no ratings, all critics. Old reruns of seasons and HD TV downing bottles of vodka. I'm absolutely drinking grown men under tables, plates on tops of same tables, bodies naked to view, wounds unnoticed. I'm speaking my mind. The dirty tricks it plays and rewinding and replaying, displaying the details, the after hour spots. People you only see at 4 in the morning with blood red eyes, clothes crooked, uncreased, and cruddy heels of shoes. And that lifestyle, appearance becomes the last thing on your mind. Still lights up the marquee with flashing letters. Hit bottom, rock bottom, hit now. No more theatrical entrances entering 11 minutes after the 2-hour delay. Something happened. A remote control fast-forwarded all the noise, turned the volume down. The black and blues increased in technicolor, dulling the white noise. Silently humming, my eyes to lull, slow blink. Lids closed. Disconnecting cable boxes, no energy surge, no connection for myself. So how for you, my people, when I speak old school pavement language, breaking barriers, my mind races back to the beginning. This next piece is by Keisha Nicole Foster. Just in case you're not aware of what we're doing, this is a 24-hour poetry marathon.
I saw somebody in here last night. I wonder. So keep going.
Oh yeah, I will. Thanks. This poem is by Keisha Nicole Foster. It is in her chapbook, Performances, 12 Years of Poetry. Keisha Nicole Foster. KNF. Knife. This poem is called Say Come Love. Your voice, wrapped around veins, throbs my ears. Mind control. Memories of your breath breathing down my neck. Tears on edge of lids dare to drop upon my cheek, my dear. You replace all failures from my past. Time is of the essence. Give you time, you said. Not right now. I pushed you away once. Not twice, I said. You come back to love, my love. Reach towards my breast and heal my love. I am here, love, buried under dirt, fresh stepped on, rebel on. I be rebel, 2 ears, I hear your voice. Only my eyes are watery spaceships, shaping solar systems. My tears are puddles, step in, barefoot. Ripple affect me. Come back to warm heart hugs, my love. Say, come, love.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you later. Alrighty. Whew. I think I left my inhaler at home. Nope, I got it. Alright. We keep going. Because it is a marathon of poetry. I'm gonna keep going. Keep going strong. Hello.
Hello.
This next poem by Keisha Nicole Foster is called Watch Your Back for the Imperial Women, 2009. We walk down streets, kids skip lines irregular again in the sun, where we know that those who have walked before us will walk again. In our inner city, imperial eye on the fore of the boat goes, sailing, take me away, into the seams of the cushions, unmatched couches, grab a bonbon, turn the channel off, grab a broom, grab a baby. We close our eyes to sights. We smell what we want when we want. Buck eyes, bucking excuses for the eyes to view. Our lives are what we make them. Every time a woman walks out of doors, breath rank, heart warm, clothes off, balance on, body again. We must remember that our neighborhoods ain't the only ones saved in stories for dark nights when bra straps are slightly on, off edge, on bed, off edge again. Repetitive words rewind into redundant reunions of leaders praying and swaying to hymns hummed vigils. Let us be protective. Let us be proactive for an active change. Post-war reactive people will heal with words. We've love. For you, sing songs. Pray hard for women who manifested dreams, whose mothers heard late-night sirens and thought of them. Lovable vessels of confusion, not knowing how to walk narrow, straight back forward. Pray hard, my people, for screams from the heavens are on earth, our tumbling footsteps in shadows. Watch your back, black woman, hollow cave, dark, cornered, artificial, real woman. Walking streets are nice. People are mean, unloving, blindsided. We are asking you to watch your back, mama, tipping on heels, leaning inward, walking the night dreams. Auntie, watch your back. Quick fix, watch your back. Eternal abuse, open eyes, watch your back. Watch your back. Pray, my sisters. For you I pray, my sisters. Kindred spirits, my soul shakes. I pray for you, my sisters. Watch your back. I can read OPP good sometimes. Huh? That's Keisha. Well, the weather changes every 15 minutes. You can never look stupid with a jacket on.
Quote, the revolution will not be televised.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. We are taking donations in the little blue vase on that table. Please drop a quarter in and drop the rest in the tip jar. Because the baristas are really sweet. They're really sweet people. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your donation. All of the proceeds here are going toward travel to get my team, because I am the slam master of Cleveland and its poetry slam right now, to get my team to the National Poetry Slam at MPS. We are a few $100s away. Not too bad for the cost, because it's just about $1,000 for the hotel itself. But this is very important. It is the Poetry Olympics, so to speak. So anything helps. Even a good luck, guys, helps. Even a keep up the good work helps.
I like your analogy better.
What?
I've been telling people it's like our Super Bowl.
Yep, pretty much the Poetry Super Bowl. And if we do well and win, also, the individual World Poetry Slam is coming to Cleveland. I'm talking high caliber poets will be here. Rachel McKibbins, who knows? Buddy Wakefield, Anish Mojgani, Taylor Mali might come in, make an appearance. Roger Bonera Guard, all these wonderful people, these wonderful, wonderful writers, my teachers and mentors. We'll be here. Alrighty. This next poem is by Vladimir Sverensky. It's called Much More Than the Walls. We're going to try to read it a little bit in his cadence.
That's Claire's big mouth over there.
Birds fly off to chart the skies. The house turns into a little church. The cats all asleep. Not here, but somewhere else, a poem being written. Another lonely night, as the moon engraves the tombstones with its ghostly light, and I, without a whimsy stick to coax, then beat myself into sleep. Only the clock on the wall insists. Indeed, the hands would clap if they heard a Walt Whitman poem this night. As for my mind, these tricks the mind plays, these useless limbs, a wretched life with first light, I still find myself swimming as not to drown. The Quiet Ocean of Regrets, still by Vladimir Sverensky. I am doing what poets call OPP, other people's poetry, right now. So I've read quite a few of my own. So this next one is The Quiet Ocean of Regrets. On Venice Beach, a large bent compass needle points to a better world. A call comes from my daughter. Something about being stuck. Transmission problems. I explain, sweetheart, I'm in California. She doesn't want me to fall in love. Says I'm too old for jogging. It's as though I died years ago. My life a failure. I'm dealing with everyone's harmless lies. Tasting salt water, convinced a barrel of oil is worth more than a dozen beautiful faces. Here, the people tend to their organic gardens, swallow multicolored pills, point to burning ships on the rooftops. On the beach, strangers offer to pour fresh goat's milk on my cornflakes, wanting to sell me what I left behind for $5. Still Vladimir Sverensky. This next piece is called Loud Knock. A knock on the door. Keeping quiet because I know who's there. Don't want to hand out any more change. After a few minutes, it's back to pretending I'm a writer. Baseball game on the radio. I put the pencil down. Listening is more important now. Once I got to bat in a little league game, I bounced my bat on home plate, swung at the first pitch with my eyes closed. It's a long season. But in the middle of an inning, I'll fall in love with the game again. Bare feet touching tall grass, a foul ball reaching the seats. Someone with a fat cigar makes a great catch. The batter strikes out. The crowd wanting another home run, and I think how lucky I was to see a no-hitter for at least 1 week owned a Mickey Mantle rookie card and a Willie Mays who robbed us in the '54 World Series. I'm honestly out of breath. I did some of my lighter poems. You missed them. I had like 5. I know.
Did you hear me starting to kill vertigo or anything?
No, I didn't.
Picture?
Yeah, sure.
You're not afraid of him?
No, you can take a picture. Also, if you don't mind, you can make a donation.
Ah, really? Where?
In the little blue vase. We take pennies, quarters, nickels, dimes.
This isn't a free photo.
Oh, I mean, it can. I don't mind. I don't mind, but I'm not too proud today. I'm trying to get this team to Boston.
No, I woke up at like 6 o'clock and he started playing opera. I was like, I will fillet you and go see something.
Barbie girl.
I still might kill you. Watch it. No, the second time I wake up, I'm much less convinced.
Yes. Alright. Let me get a drink of water.
Let me do something. What do you want me to do?
Whatever you like, dude.
I do whatever I like. Except for saying that song. Let me get my shit together.
Anybody got any brothers in the house? Anybody? You do?
It's the coolest little shit in the world.
I wrote this poem to my little brother because I love him so much. I'm going to get the shortened version because I like it better. Give me a second.
Bam.
The concrete jungle.
Do you know concrete roast? Sold them at the art auction.
I should have picked those up.
Yeah.
This poem is called Autism High. I saw a boy wearing little brother's eyes like he wore his shirt. So unimportant. Swollen, abandoned black holes, they had lacked a soul. I have never known a demon stronger than this. Autism claims sight. Tell me, what is real? The images you see or the dreams that you feel? My little brother always seems to be caught looking at a dream. Are you awake yet? Little brother, speak to me. Eyes broke time capsules. Said it was God, but his eye is on the sparrow. This sparrow looks back. An impediment. More than just a speech problem, autism strangles. What conversation, what talk can be had with him? Little autism, is that his real name? Rashad Augustus Bakir, that's just a facade. No one sees a man, just autism stretched over a boy's skeleton, eyes caught somewhere else, voice box cut by fantasies, he's less than human. How can we love him? A mentally disordered novelty. Unreal, stuck in fantasies. How does one disappear when he was never there? But he is right here. He is walking the same earth, breathing the same air. Will we learn to stop questioning humanity? Eyes breaking mirrors, tears shards, slicing air, reflecting their ignorance through broken siblings. He is not a thing. I don't have an autism. I have a brother. He is a person. He sees things how we cannot. He's love's manifest. When will we realize? His eyes hold more butterflies than summer and spring. He knows shooting stars are angels playing frisbee using their halos. He says shoulder blades are proof that God intends for us to have wings. When will we notice? He holds dragons in his hand. Some things we won't get. He is living prose. He is 25 haiku. This is 26. We won't understand. Won't find dragons in his hands, eyes, voice, ears. We're stuck. If we speak logic and still don't see his brilliance, we are hypocrites. Objects neglected. Sometimes things go unnoticed. Our bond is rotted. My little brother, he doesn't talk anymore, at least not to me, but that's what happens when you abandon angels. Their wings fly away. Alright, I'm going to take a break for a second and have Andrew Tobias Line, my teammate, come up here. See, thank you guys.
Ugh.
It was great.
Good morning. I'm a little sleepy.
Yeah.
I don't wake up for a while. Yeah. I'm also.
You used all the lead in my pencil?
I did. I wrote like 3 poems on it. The orange one's so cool.
Yeah, and it's mine. Thank
Um,
you.
You realize your bandana has the Marge Simpson effect going, right?
I don't really care right now. Well, it's supposed to be tucked in on the back. So I'm also gonna do other people's poems right now, cover poems, so I kind of wake up and figure out which ones are mine I'd like to throw at you. And to start off with, once I pull it up, I'm gonna do a poem that I wanted to do last night before I conked out. And by last night, I mean somewhere around 5 o'clock this morning. This is by one of my favorite slanty type poets. His name is Gabe Moses from Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty wonderful. Pretty gorgeous, which never hurts. This is called Warning. And I really like this poem because it could have been written about me. It's one of those that fits me perfectly. So this is Warning. Someone I once loved said I should come with a warning label. Looking over my track record, I'm forced to agree. I should come with a warning label. It should say, warning. I'm 130 pounds of John Hughes movie prom parking lot grade intensity. If that doesn't sound like a lot to you, imagine it hurtling straight at you at full speed like a human fireball of affection. If you think I'm cute, keep this in mind. It should say, I like you, like a lot. And that means I will like you a lot for a very long time because I have a pit bull heart. When it gets a hold of somebody, it doesn't let go easy. In fact, it may take any sign of resistance as an invitation to chase. It should say, I will write dorky poems, like this one, by the dozens with no objective in mind other than to make you smile. I will relentlessly send you inappropriate greeting cards and picture messages of kittens. It bears mentioning at this juncture that I work in an animal shelter. I have free access to dangerous quantities of kittens, and I am not afraid to use them. I will do these things whether you show me the slightest note of encouragement or not. It should say. If you should want to get rid of me, simply ignoring me will not work. You will have to actively be mean to me. I suggest you start observing cartoon supervillains for examples of gleefully gratuitous cruelty. This may be a technique you will need to employ. It should say. You will break my heart. You won't mean to, and I won't hold it against you, but I still won't go away. I will call you periodically just to say hi. I may, if the spirit so moves me, still send you the odd kitten picture. When you tell me you are happy without me, I will smile and say I'm happy for you. About a year later, I will do these same things and mean it. And I will stitch the pieces of yourself you've given me into the lining of my mind, where I keep the clothes of people who struck me as too beautiful to forget. It should say, I have a pit bull heart. I don't have the bones of my former loves buried in my backyard, but I do have the words they said to me when they still loved me, buried in my chest. Sometimes I like to play them back for myself, like slideshows of places I've gone to, and come back changed. It should say, if any of what you just heard scares you, I suggest you burn every poem I've written for you now. Videotape yourself doing it. Tie the cartridge to a Molotov cocktail and throw it through my bedroom window. The tape may also need to show you making out with every last one of my friends and kicking my dog while I watch the tape and stamp the flames. Run as fast and as far away from me as you can, because I should come with a warning label. And it should say, warning, if you let me love you, even for a moment, I will love you for the rest of my life. Yay, Gabe.
Yay! I cuddled with Gabe Moses.
I'm so jealous. My ultimate goal for National Poetry Slam is to find him and like attack on him and have like a creepy, adoring fan moment. And it would be really great if he wasn't creeped out.
I'm gonna hug Gabe Moses and kiss him on the cheek.
I'm gonna have a Parker Ansel moment. When I first met Parker Ansel, I was aware of two things. He's a really good poet and he's hot. And so we were up at the Phoenix in South Euclid for one of Vertigo's shows, and he walked in, I was like, ah! And then I was like, oh, you don't know who I am.
You're creepy.
I'm not really.
Andrew.
I'm not really.
He wasn't even there for poetry.
No, he was
He
like,
walked
he
up,
owns
walked-
the dance studio across the street.
Wait,
He
he's a
walked in.
dancer?
He's a,
He
also,
teaches,
parents.
he teaches ballroom dance. That's his day job.
Somebody's trying to get me wet.
Oh, I love Concrete Rose's poetry. Prepare yourself for a lot of F words. Are we still allowed to do F words during the day? Oh, fuck it.
We are.
Yeah, prepare yourself for a lot of F words and a lot of railing against love and crack and whatnot. I'm gonna do 3M Smells Like. This is Concrete Rose, BTW. She is a phenomenal poet from Akron, just a little fiery little girl. Not a little girl, she's a grown-ass woman, but fiery and amazing. She's got this chapbook out called Concrete Jungle. I forget how much it costs. I think it's like $5. So you should check her out.
How do you spell phenomenal?
It's 10, I'm sorry.
How do you spell phenomenal?
I have no idea. Google, honey.
Phenomenal.
I was a copy editor for 3 years, but I don't know how to spell. I can just see when words look wrong, and I'm not afraid of the dictionary.
I got it. I just couldn't, because you know, men can be any vowel. Phenomen, phenomen, phenoman, phenoman.
No, I hear you. Okay, so this is called 3 a.m. Smells Like. And I'm hoping I can do it some sort of justice. Do you know what 3 a.m. smells like? Like tired, tortured vaginas filled with the seeds of evil from the tricks it turned. like dried tears and snot from abandoned little ones who rock themselves into satisfaction, waiting on mommy to return. It reeks of the rotted flesh of the walking dead, otherwise known as addicts. They are 3 a.m. 3 a.m. smells like tar-filled lungs hacking up what's left of their life. It sounds like the blood hitting a solid surface as it pours from some body orifice. It smells like the block monsters who think they are saving the world by peddling death in a plastic bag to society's misguided. Smells like the sticky wet cum running down the legs of a woman being raped, like the steak mix of her bleeding vagina and his dirty dick plastered to his lips, plastered on her lips and hips. The smell of his alcoholic saliva on her neck and tits at 3 a.m. Do you know what 3 a.m. feels like? It's like the fire burning in your veins before you jump off the ledge at 3 a.m. The drop in body temperature as your heart rate decreases, the permanent chill that's attached to your limp body. 3 a.m. feels like body fluids passing through you as the coroner determines the cause and moment of death. Time of death, 3 a.m. Concrete usually says, hey, I do a lot of poems about shit people don't like to talk about.
It's not that I don't like to talk about it, it's the length. Ooh.
She's very
Cum, vaginas, tits.
blunt.
Oh, wow.
That is called not sugarcoat. And she does it like, I don't know how she does it, but she just works it. I don't know. I wish I had You Make Me Sick and Fuck Love. Those are two of my favorites. But this is called, no, I don't want to do this one.
Keisha called me, and I hope it's because she was on and saw me doing her poems and had good things to say about it.
Is Kara coming?
Yeah, around noon. Guten Tag.
Guten Stock.
Ah, I like that word.
I just made it up because I was working my last day of work. We were pulling pins out of these lids that weren't supposed to be there. I was like, man, this one's good and stuck. And I was like, that sounds like a German word. So I walked around all day going, Guten Stock.
You're probably offending someone.
Probably. My mom, who is predominantly German, always used to say, it's not real German unless you spit on somebody when you talk. Alright,
Gabe Moses just wrote happy birthday to my mom, one of the strongest and sweetest people I've been blessed to know. She's not on Facebook, but hopefully the status will keep me from forgetting to call her.
no. Why is he so fucking adorable? Okay, so this is called, no, he, after we had that bizarre meetup through One Truth and that they commented on that slam that we did, after when I read, it was the first team semifinals, and I read How to Make Love to a Trans Person at the open mic, and One Truth's like, oh, I know him, and then you guys wrote the note with everybody tagged in it, and he made some sort of comment.
Like what? Did you guys do covers in your slam?
No, it was for Dragon Ink, and there was an open mic.
You did covers in your slam. So
No, it was the open mic portion.
Yeah, I know. He thought that you slammed your poem, his poem.
No. He just said that's funny because somebody performed your poem, and I was like, hi. And then we added each other, and then he sent me this poem. He's like, I hope I'm not being presumptuous, but looking over your profile, I noticed you were a parent and thought you might like this poem. And he sent me a video of this poem he wrote for his daughter. It's pretty fucking awesome. I was like, okay, anyway, I love this poem. It's called Mental Suicide, and I don't know how she does it, but somehow she makes this funny poem. This poem funny. I can't. But somehow she does it. So just when you're listening to me destroy this, remember it's supposed to be funny, kind of, somehow really So this is called mental suicide. I might just take a big box of rat poison and put it in a bowl of soup and eat it with some crackers and drink my juice laced with more poison after. Or I can sit here and hold my breath and wait for death to come and get me. I should poke my eyes open out and hope I bleed to death quickly. I should take a knife and put it through random body parts and then sit here quietly and watch my flesh spread apart. I should take some salt to spread over my wounds because I'm mentally committing suicide every time I lay down with you. Maybe I should do about 80 on the one way, driving my car the wrong way, or set myself some dynamite for my birthday because every time I look into those eyes I can feel my soul die and I mentally commit suicide every time I look at you. I think I might cut out random organs and put them in a blender. I like my life shaken, not stirred. I might as well put a bullet through my head because you already took my heart away from me. I'm almost on the verge of insanity. I feel death and life crossing the paths within me because every time I say I love you, I'm killing myself, mentally. And let's hear it for improper use of a semicolon. Mentally is not an independent clause. But I love you anyway. And this one is a happy poem this year, which is bizarre and a little disturbing. And I really like it. It reminds me of my friend Bridget, who will be here, by the way. She is phenomenal, probably the best person in the whole world. She'll be here around 11. But anyway, this poem reminds me of her. It's called Still by Concrete Rose. It's called No Makeup. No makeup on me because natural is beautiful on me. No painted smiles and blushed cheeks, you get what you see. No makeup to make up false emotions and phony notions, just take me as you see. Don't try to paint me. I have my own features, don't draw shit on me. I don't need to be blended, outlined, concealed and masked, just let me be. Natural is factual, you just don't see. No makeup to cake up, this is real beauty. No enhancer, no rouge, no shadows over these eyes. You can keep the ruby red and crimson tide. I stand before you naked, no makeup and definitely no fallacies. This beauty is no beast. Don't plump nothing on me. Give me some gloss though to keep my appearance shiny. I can't go a day without some polish because that's how you become like me. File me down a little. Sometimes I'm too sharp. A manicure will do, dear. I'm just a diva at heart. These made-up beauties are hiding behind paint, but I will take the blemishes, scars, and slight imperfections than to be made up into something I just ain't. And I feel like I should do some of my poems. Can we do repeats since it's another day? Okay.
Good. I did Watch Your Back and I got real into it.
Watch your back. I don't know what I should do. What should I do? Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Fine. I'm gonna do white people. What?
Vertigo and Andrew and Jacob just about.
Did you get to sleep?
No, I haven't slept yet.
If you wanna like calm out, since I'm
No,
on.
yeah, and Andrew is the one. No, we haven't. Well, we're not now. We started back up Anthony to and I read all the poems on
This poem, its most recent incarnation, which I'm about to read to you, came about last night, like maybe 5 hours ago. So it's pretty fresh. It's exciting. I really like this poem. So here we go. I'm being the only white person on the bus. Doors slide open, giving way to brick walls. I stepped into a world secluded from the other passengers. It zipped me up like protective bubble mist mortar. Invisibly labeled me other, not just from color or lack thereof, but seeping from every carefully selected identifying factor. Doubling as bullseyes for dips. I give up. I'm going back to sleep. Okay, we're gonna try that again. Since I just threw back a cup of toddy. Hopefully that was. Thank you, Jacob. Huh?
Woohoo, Toddy.
Yay, toddy. Toddy.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of cold pressed coffee. Anyway, we'll try that again. Okay. I'm being the only white person on the bus. Doors slid open, giving way to brick walls. I stepped into a world secluded from the other passengers. It zipped me up like protective bubble mist mortar. It invisibly labeled me other, not just from color or lack thereof, but seeping from every carefully selected identifying factor, doubling as bullseyes for fists dipped in misguidance. Sharp eyes digging at my epidermis is not a new phenomenon. An overheard phone conversation elicits confrontation, wrapped in shaking hands and hearted tongue. What do you know about struggle, white boy? She growled at me, and I was struck by her separateness. Genetically induced islands zip us both into bubbles that divide us from the rest of the world and from each other. Because in this modern incarnation of communicating paradigm and heartbeats, black and transgender are synonymous with unacceptable, except my skin is painted in private with testosterone and needlepoint paintbrushes, with pennies strictly counted and sequestered into a gaping savings account for international scalpel-built castles in the sky. But for all are separate, there is oneness here. I too know the taste of indiscriminate tears dispensed by those who ought to know better. I too have seen the fear that if they touch me, my disease might rub off on their fingertips. My people were never enslaved, but my brothers and sisters are still being slaughtered. Our brothers and sisters are still being slaughtered. My, how far we've come. What a peculiar evolution. Trapped in our individualized ghettos. I will never understand what's in the hearts of these men. How being different translates to we should not exist. Minority is not a swear word. We are not a stain to be scrubbed out of the flag. My mom used to tell me that God got bored with white, so he started painting people different colors to make the world beautiful. I feel as though if I were to reach out and grasp her hand, cold brick would touch cold brick in place of skin, so instead I meet her eyes deeply, stowing walls and closets for the longest time in memory, and say, honey, I breathe too. That poem is really, for all my mother's faults, she raised me that people are people no matter what color they are. I wish she felt that way about gay people, but you know, whatever. I was in 4th grade before I really met any black people. And I realized that although my mom told me that people are no less or more based on their color, I realized that not everybody felt that way. And as I grew and I saw the way minorities are treated, I just felt like we are so cut off from each other, but in being cut off, we have common ground. And maybe if we can just see that we can reach across the divide. I don't know. I'm supposed to, but that's kind of where that came from. So I'm going to do some of my poetry now. Oh, well, that was my poetry, but I'm going to do some more of my poetry. Have you done Dave Nichols this morning?
I saw him.
Yeah, but poetry, did he do poetry?
No.
He had that mock trial.
Don't call it a mock.
He called it a mock trial.
He said it was a trial.
I said, David, why you all looking snazzy and dressed up for? He said, I have a mock trial this morning.
It's a trial. It's a real trial.
Okay, yeah, I have it right there.
Okay.
He didn't do poetry. Did you do any from that book?
I did one.
Okay.
That's what I ordered. We're gonna go through a whole bunch of poetry right now. Bam. This is all poetry. Oh. Hey, Vertigo, is there still a Google document open on that computer you are sitting at?
No.
At whichever one of you closed that.
This is not telling me that.
So, I didn't read this one last week, but I'm going to read it now. It's still in process, so it's going to be a little rough at the end because some of it's still in my head, not so much on paper. I should smoke less. Maybe. This one doesn't have a title, and it's really fresh and kind of hard to read, but whatever. This is a no tonic straight gin sort of night. In fact, make it a double. I already have a tab open. This is a go outside and pretend to have a cell phone conversation with your mother, just to have an excuse to scream your vows at the sidewalk sort of night. After your third chain cigarette, pick the angriest poem you'll have memorized to spit for the second round because that's the only one you can do justice to right now. Lose yourself to the prophecy of rhythm one moment and curse your ink-stained existence the next. Here's your step-by-step instruction guide to demolition, disguised as bipolar and post-traumatic stress disorder wrapping paper. Convince yourself that you can only create while tipsy and whisper in your ear that you've been sober for almost 4 years now. What good is having a messiah for a daughter if you don't listen to her smile and heed the divine revolution of her purple butterfly costume? Congratulations on becoming exactly what you set out to destroy. They say the things you don't heal from are the things you pass on to your children. When will I want healing enough to actually do it? Which half of me is lying to myself? All this time I believed I held mental illness in my fingernail beds, but right now, the only thing I'm certain of is that the pauses between these poets' breaths remind me of the tap-tap of my daughter's first steps. If the devil had a name for me, it would be sister. In his native tongue, it would sound like open mouths splitting against brazen concrete edge. Who taught her this version of truth? How did the devil wrestle his way into the mouth of a butterfly princess? If the scientific method is any sort of standard, maybe her grandma's lies will drive her to poetry too. I should be so lucky. It doesn't matter which word I say, it sounds like your name, or her name. She spent 36 weeks tucked inside of me. How could she possibly not recognize me? I try to get my lyric to stick to the inside of her ribcage because she squirms out of my arms when all I want is to inhale her one more time. This is an introspective crucible that I will conveniently forget to live by in the morning sort of night. This is a pull out the picture of my wallets and show it to everyone to prove to the cameras hidden in the walls how much I love her sort of night. I can't scream as loud as I used to. So I say a prayer to today's non-existent deity of choice that she will learn to listen closely.
Yay for uber personal.
I'm going to do this poem. This is not such a slammy sort of poem. This microphone makes me so uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on. This is not really a slam sort of poem. This is a print sort of poem. And I want to preface it. It's called Postmark Denver. I haven't seen my birth father in almost 20 years now. I'll be 22 next month. And last Christmas, my mom gave me a card with a single slip of paper inside, and it was supposedly his address. And this poem came from that experience. It's called Postmark Denver. If this is what a wrong address did to me, imagine if you'd actually written back and said you didn't want me. 20 years of built-up tears flow down my face as a broken-hearted cowboy sings about his long-lost love in the background, and all I can think is how this little girl just wants her dead. So many nights, I'd lie awake wondering why you left me, and if I'd ever see your face again. I'd remember your words and sing them to myself. The echo of a sad refrain, like cold breath on your window pane, obscures your vision and gives way to the precious light of day. So don't be scared, though I'm not there, and life's unfair, please know I care. And if my voice should fade away, remember I'm a thought away. I'd feel that if I could only reach far enough, I could touch you. And I'd wonder, what's in those letters from you that my mother lied about? And what else did she lie about? Who are you really? What does that make me? I wonder if you'd be proud of me or ashamed. And I wonder if I have strength enough to hope in you again. Yay, we're gonna start doing gay poems now, because that's what I do. And I've come to that place in my stack. Woo. This is called Let's Get One Thing Straight. Let's get one thing straight. You may be real, but I still don't like you. The goddess your people violated helped me when you turned your back on me because I was less than perfect. And just a little PR advice. Calling your children an unnatural abomination doesn't win their devotion and only serves to fuel the loathing. See, the divine that flows through me doesn't condemn me to eternal torture for falling in love. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not. But supposedly I was made in your image, so maybe we should turn the interrogation upward. You may be real, but your voice is still a trigger. It reminds me of the hell your people put me through with your blessing. And yes, Father God, I can accept you as a father figure. Because after all, he left me too. Yay, emo. Ooh. This poem, I thought it was done, but I have learned in reading it a few times it's not done. But I'm gonna read it anyway. This was the result of me sitting down to write an erotic poem. I'm like, I should really write a poem about sex. And this is what happened. I am trying again. This is called Sexuality and Transsexuality. 1. What do you want? He whispered in my ear, voice low and thick, betraying desire. I don't want to feel like a woman when you fuck me. I whispered back. Glad now that we took the long way around, because now that we're here, I'm more than a little scared. 2. Sometimes, when I touch myself, I slip back into the girl part of my brain out of habit, and by that time it's too late. When I finally come to, I feel dirty, violated, repulsed. I take a shower and try to scrub me off. Ugh. I wish my body would consent to being away forever. So I'm kind of excited right now because I just found a poem that I forgot I wrote, which is in its first draft stage, so it's a little rough, but whatever. Doesn't have a title, but 2 years ago, on Mother's Day, I wrote my mother a poem, which I will read to you later. It wasn't a very happy poem. There's a lot of fuck yous in it. So this year on Mother's Day, I wrote this poem, kind of in response. You'd always cook the chicken way too long, because you were afraid it would poison us otherwise. Purple's your favorite color, because it makes you feel royal. You love to sing, although you're not that great, and secretly, you just want to feel beautiful. It's easier to hate a concept. 2 years ago, I stood on this stage and dug you out of my veins. I snapped the handcuffs you put on me when I was young to keep me from wandering off in public. And now, Mother, today, I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I can start to forgive you. It's not for you, oh no. You have not stopped being a cunt, pulling stunts like teaching my princess that I'm not her mother. But staunch bitterness doesn't suit who I've become. I'm tired of playing the fucked up card, tired of vomiting on people's dashboards. I'm starting to see that I am enough. I don't need sympathy. Move on. As you're so fond of reminding me, I have to love you, but I don't have to like you, Mother. On this day, your day, I'm reminding myself that you are an actual person, not just well-hated scenery, doing all you can to keep going. Please, keep swallowing your weekly dose of self-indignant perfection propaganda, because I can't stand to watch you break anymore, Mother. For years I forgot that I love you on purpose because heat is easier. I'm sorry I didn't see you sooner. A single clap.
Get that slow clap.
I'm really bored out of my mind and kind of want to shoot you in the face for some entertainment clap. Alright, this is another one that I forgot I wrote. And this is for my husband, who just got out of prison a week after our 3rd wedding anniversary. Ooh. He was in there for 3 years. Yeah. So you do the math. This is called Still Minutely Attached. And this is another first draft poem that I wrote and forgot about. Is going to be a few of those. Whatever. Still minutely attached. I think it's time I mourn you. After 2.5 years, I can put away the anger, bury you, and admit that there was love there. Is it wrong to miss you? And our dreams of white picket fences. I should be pregnant with Mickey's brother right now. Sweetly settled into a family. How does that song go? Like dust in the wind? My daydreams didn't sound like bones breaking. Bloody knuckles on the cell wall and the serenity prayer. I shredded all those letters you wrote me. How dare you blame me? How dare I claim innocence?
You need to, I don't know, I guess your statements are still confused with the word blood a lot. There's a lot of morbid images.
I didn't finish that book. I made it about halfway through. I'm going to finish it, but I couldn't do it right then. That is a lot of shit to digest in the course of one book.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish it. I just couldn't at that time.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I come across a poet that I feel like they've been like living right over my shoulder my whole life and writing about me. Rachel McKibbins is one of those. Gabe Moses is one of those.
Rachel McKibbins, Gabe Moses, have my gay babies.
Yes.
Have my baby.
I want to have 10 million of your adopted babies. I hate this microphone. Here's over here. There. I don't know what that noise was, but it happened. Okay. No. Because I have to put the. Why is this microphone so obnoxious? There's this.
Hey, you're a dork.
Obnoxious. I'm still a little sleep drunk.
Stop personifying the microphone.
I'm not personifying it.
You're giving it human traits.
No, inanimate objects can be obnoxious.
No,
Oh, yes.
different.
Just don't gauge the mic.
That was it. You guys should know Joshua Gage. He wears a bathrobe everywhere, big pink and purple fuzzy bathrobe, and he like makes love to the microphone. He's reading. It's ridiculous. And kind of adorable. Wait. What? Ow, ow. Did he say he was going to be here? Maybe.
He said maybe he's gonna try that.
He better. Okay. So this is called Since God Was Obviously Too Busy. I wish that they would give me the authority to shoot men like you on sight. Let me guess. She rolled out of bed and hit her eyes on the nightstand. No. I know. She fell down the steps again because the bruises are all her fault, even in the lies. Every heartbroken molecule screams to point out the differences between your guys' cover-up stories, but truth like that will get a bitch killed. Counterintuitive. But the safest thing I can do for her is pretend to believe and try to hold her long enough to remind her that a man's hands can still be kind without arousing your suspicion. I just like to say, for the record, that I really, really would enjoy murdering that motherfucker. It would be slow, it would be painful, it would involve filleting and sea salt. And it'd probably be videotaped.
Loxley, I'm gonna cut your heart out with a spoon.
Alright, Saw 7.
On that note, I stopped.
That's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Same thing, really. I don't know what's up with my throat today.
Mandingo.
Mandingo Day! That's one of the King's poems that I'm particularly fond of. So, Akeem, I don't know if you've heard this one before, but the last stanza of it is absolute, complete, and utter shit. So, if you want to throw something at me after I finish this, like suggestions, not vegetables. This is to the girl who rescued my humanity.
Ooh, I hate this one.
You do? Have you heard it?
I heard it, I don't know.
Oh. I hate your soul. To the girl who rescued my humanity, I feel like I owe you an explanation. See, the headline I held disallowing the death penalty for child molesters felt like his dick piercing my sanity. And by the time we had that fight, I had yet to rid my mouth of the taste of him. So I took your disagreement personally, without knowing the whole story. When you asked me if I thought that meant your father should be put to death, I answered yes, emphatically, in the manner of the previously abused who throws their first punch and regrets it immediately. That clawed into my brain and grew there, the way first punches do. As I look back over the years at the moment from between my 5-year-old fingers, I wonder how I ever got that acidic. I'm sorry. Sometimes I hate so hard that I forget other people are viable entities. By putting a face to my hate, you help me see the human behind it. The Buddha reminds us to love everyone without exception. And thanks to you, I'm gonna try. But it's like good up until, I don't know.
There are parts in it that I feel could definitely be played.
Yeah, I've rewritten that poem like, I don't know how many times. And it doesn't. Okay. I have this one memorized. This is exciting. Memorized poems. A personal mantra of transformation. From victim to survivor. Pain does not equal intimacy. Intimacy does not equal pain. Sympathy does not equal love. Love does not equal sympathy. A letter to my former self. Dear Hillary, you're going to hear several times over the next few years that God can restore your virginity. They mean well. But in reality, restored virginity is something you're going to have to discover for yourself. Honey, I know that his arms bring healing so close you can taste it. But trust me, baby, one day his fingertips tracing your body will turn to dry vomit, crackling on your skin. You will heat the water to scalding and try to scrum him off with the edge of the blade you used to cut the coat. This will leave you with even more scars. But there is hope. These scars will fester and explode, giving birth to a dream, a future named Michaela swaddled in your soon-to-be last name. She is your Messiah. She is your Savior. Love her wholly. Love her whole. Learn to kneel at her cross. But only once you've learned to love yourself. And just so you know, sometimes self-love comes in the form of male hormones injected into thigh muscles. I know that the darkness is soothing and familiar, but light itself is not your enemy. It's the one who lights the candle that is trying to destroy you. So light your own candle, baby. Don't waste your life proposing marriage to anyone who will listen to you. You don't have to fuck everyone you want to love you. But even this is not what really matters, Hillary. What really matters is that in your first moments on this earth, you inhaled and drew art and the incomparable love that meets you through, the incomparable magic of love into your body. Dig deep. You're going to have to drag it out, kicking and screaming, and shove the poison back up the birth canal where it came from. What really matters is that you were born with blood in your veins, not cyanide. You are not a ticking time bomb waiting for the pin to accidentally slip. You were not a mistake. You are not broken. I don't care what your mother says. You don't need fixing. Hillary, you were beautiful. Long before his dick whispered the word in your ear. My throat is not appreciating 24 hours of screaming poetry. So, excuse my voice.
14 hours in.
Oh, I hate my life right now. I can imagine what it's going to be like during NPS if I'm up here going, no. Lots of water, I guess. I don't know.
Whiskey sours.
Whiskey. Whiskey makes me vomit upon contact with my stomach. No, anything with whiskey in it. Let me tell you, one time I was at Square, that gay club in Highland Square in Akron that I like, and you saw it like it's the bar, and then the dance floor, and then the bathroom is on the other side of the dance floor. And me and my friend Alexis were getting drinks from this girl Heidi, and she bought for me this pink drink, little pink drink, and I'm like, it's pink. How dangerous can it be? So I went, threw it back, and as I pulled the glass away from my face, I could smell the whiskey. I made it halfway across the dance floor before it puked everywhere. I don't know. I can't drink whiskey, which is unfortunate because I really like it. My body, however, seems to disagree with my taste buds. It tastes like old candy. Another memorized poem. Ooh, this is called Catalyst. Markel was only 25. On the morning of March 8th, between the hours of 2 and 5 a.m., they shot her. Twice. Dragged her body down the highway under their car and dumped her on the side of the road. And even in her death, the media didn't have the decency to grant her the last dignity of using the correct pronouns. A man wearing women's clothes was found dead, they said, as if somehow she had it coming, for daring to be different in a way that made people so uncomfortable. I watched the sheriff hold her at arm's length between phobic fingertips. His face said that the rancid stench of her sunrise-rotted flesh was the epitome of everything wrong with the world, and as I cried for my sister, my roommate had the ignorance to tell me not to take it personally. Maybe if she were murdered for being a mundane, whitewashed suburbanite, people would pay attention, but it could have been me, and she was one of mine, so damn right I'm gonna take it personally. I knew a girl once who named all the lobsters in the tank so I couldn't eat them. Would it help, maybe, if I brought you a list of victims? You know Huazi, 28, stabbed to death and left in a roadside dump. Amanda Gonzalez, strangled. An unidentified transgender woman, body never even claimed, dismembered and mutilated. Another beheaded. Brenda burned to death. Selma drowned and 16 months old. Roy Antonio Jones III of Southampton, New York, was beaten to death by his mother's boyfriend, who told the cops he was simply trying to make him act more like a boy instead of a little girl. How many more have to die before we wake up? Well, I am here to tell you that I have had enough. Yes, I will continue to jump down your throats every time you utter the words faggot, tranny, or that's so gay, because that is where it starts and this is where it ends. I can feel the blood in my veins being changed to gasoline, and that is the righteous indignation that we need to be taking to the streets. If ever there was a time for us to stand up, it was the morning of March 8th, between the hours of 2 and 5 a.m. Markel, I am sorry. I should have been there for you. I won't let it happen again. My phone's going off, huh? I missed 2 calls. Bridget. I'm gonna take this. She's supposed to be here shortly. So, 3-minute interlude. Entertain yourselves.
still get lost even after buying a GPS. That's smart. I love it. What happened was, there is also a Phoenix Coffee on East 9th. We are on West 9th. Take There are people from Cleveland here that I could ask, where are you? Just keep going north, darling.
North toward the lake.
Alright, love you. Bridget got lost because she bought a GPS and lost it. I love her so hard.
I don't know what to do right now.
I think
Dave Nichols makes me so happy.
I just have to throw that out there. He is motherfucking incredible. So, they want to raid.
Dave Nichols poem. I have to decide which one. Okay, I'm going to read this one. It's called Prism, an essay. It's from In Chinatown, Poems by Dave Nichols, published by Blasted Press. That's blastedpress.com, run by the fabulous Blair Miller Bomber. Just check it out. These are top $10. $10. So this is called Prism, an essay, after Jane Hirschfield. What's another word for volume besides nothing? Some flaky nature antenna. Too much love fluorescence. Plastic evidence. Truth is a virus. Let's pollute together. I am paid to be a white face making copies of the boss's fingernail sculptures. Paid to tell you there's a camera. Paid to voice Toto on corporate guerrilla radio. A bomb that was diffused went off in cyberspace and played this fuse. Your heart is $14. You halved it. Stirring coffee. Your slurp-nosed law professor has a waxed mustache and a double-length pinky. Our class buys the erasure. Children are born in the city for pencil's sake. What's sorted? The dull longitude used to nail cardboard to evening bulletins. This is the issue of free speech. It's got a low-watt battery unloading. The polymorph stores have sold out warnings, but are open. There's a portent design of segments from Why Bother Skulls? Your brother is in love with your mother, face it. Melting sucks. And I have gone completely over to the other side, you couldn't tell it. I am clothed in canine skin with a tight magenta tie, proving lies at city council. Why symmetry? Why formula? Why memorization? Can you tell that I am standing in your museum quarters, profiting from primate death? I am wearing a demeanor of Chinese bottles from the upper-class reputable stations where my prescriptions are not allowed, were triple fools each. I've left 2 sets of footprints. Here's a figure of a left-faced jack, a 10 of swords, false photograph from the postcard bumper war. There's a television set in my crunching throat, listing names of night carcasses behind cereal commercials where cash has been invested to fashion, infinite-sized genitals, but blurry. The correct phrase is now-ish. I stood around your woman friend dancing like an elevator. She wore her 2 thumbs crossed and drew our faces. You were walking across muck, not too unlike the pebbles on your earring. Who are you and your police bells anyway? How many campers on the behavioral fence took their lives because their conversation about elephant paradox? Who's vanished? Was it the sobriety test that failed culture? Jehovah? Could it be the water hose was hooked to the vacuum cleaner? Am I a paranoid circumference? Am I the one with his spurs spiked at the folk show? Am I the one making Warhol in the tool shed? I am shoulder garbage, double checking whether what we're grazing in is an island or a rooftop. I am desolate phone strangers, liquid heights. I am the slow swallow nesting at the anchor. Wow, I'm never ever going to read Dave Nichols' poem again because I feel like I was here and he was like up here and I don't know. He's incredible. And I shouldn't read his poems anymore. There were like 5 words and I was like, I don't even know what that means. I really want to read a poem that I have to look up. Bear with me. Yeah, I'm gonna do this stuff. I hate it's driving me crazy. Browser loading. Do we have anybody watching out there in your stream? Or are we just I can't either. Yeah, let him sleep. Let the poor boy sleep. I really hope he does that poem about taking his mom to the sex shop.
Because it's across the street.
Not just because it's across the street, but because it's awesome.
I was trying to come up with a way that we could mobilize it and have him perform it right in front of it, but
How'd that go? I'm so tired. Oh. 3 hours of sleep.
I feel like this is unscrewing.
Here. Oh, there's microphone's out to get me, I'm sure. I don't know how 20 minutes ago Bridget called me and told me she was on West 9th Street and she still isn't here.
it takes a little while.
Heard you heard that. Also, Bridget's a little arrogant sometimes. I love her so much.
We could have as many as 4.
Hello, you streamers. I love you all. And I love you. I mean, I'm gonna track you down, come to your house, and eat all your cookies. I was gonna say something a lot creepier than that. You didn't believe it. Because I'm still not quite losing. This is a Buddy Wakefield poem that I am particularly fond of. What? Why are you making noises for? Go back to sleep. I don't want video results. I want the poem. I just had it. Here it is. First time I heard this poem performed, it was by Zach Ashley, this wonderful, adorable little poet from Detroit.
Ferndale.
Whatever.
He's very adamant about being from Ferndale.
Michigan somewhere. It's all the same to me. I need to write a poem about our Detroit experience.
Surprised you haven't yet.
I haven't been doing a lot of writing lately. I have been blocked. Let me tell you, the most inopportune moment of my life to have intense writer's block. Fuck you, Brent. Fuck you. So anyway, damn it, microphone. I feel a little stoned. I'm not, I promise, but my brain is like, what? Marshmallow. It's like trying to think with a marshmallow. So this is Human to Death Dance by Buddy Wakefield. On the face of her phone, Wileen programs a message to herself, so that when the alarm clock rings, the screen flashes. Every day is one day less. Every day is one day less. Jordan tattoos the words "forgive me" in thick black letters on the inside of his arm, so that when he looks at his wrist, he will remember to not hate himself so much. What they both keep forgetting is that there is life after survival. After Dave left, Mary started sticking her face in between the film projector and the movie screen, so that when the credits roll, she still gets to be somebody. When Tara's past comes back, she mashes chalk into the sidewalk until her knuckles bleed. She scribbles and scrapes until the words take shape, and this is what they say. They say, "I want to die, motherfucker, die, die, motherfucker, hold tight if I love you, 'cause it might not last long, y'all. We're all gonna die." That's the exciting part. It's learning how to live for a living. That's the tricky bitch. Just ask Denise, whose family taught her when she came into this world that family equals love. So Denise took that shit seriously, but after a lifetime of craving acceptance from their cruelty, she now finds herself jamming Polaroid pictures of these people into her typewriter and pounding out the last letter of the word mercy. Over and over, she strikes the key. Why? Why? And the answer comes in the form of a handwritten letter from the moon. It says, "This is brutally beautiful. So are we. This is endless. So are we." Signed, Crater Face. Yes. See me for who I am. We've got work to do. But my father, he didn't read moon. He didn't speak moon. He didn't write moon. So there was no note left next to his body when he decided to leave this world on purpose without telling us where he was going or why. There are still days you can catch me tape recording Internal Silence and playing it backwards for an empty room, just so I can listen to his dying wish. It's true. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. But thank goodness, my family tree was in an orchard on a hill that rolled me into the river, and that river rifted me into the rapids, and those rapids rushed me into this moment, right here, right now with you. It's a mouth. This is my church, and this church is a house of healing. Hallelujah. Welcome. Come on in as you are. Have a look around. Stay out of my porn. There are massive stacks of bad choices in my backyard. Clearly, I've not yet reached enlightenment beyond a few fleeting moments, but I'm trying. And I found something here I want you to have. It's not much, just a story, but it's all I got, so take it. It's called Dylan. Dylan's drug of choice was more. So Dylan took more and more and more until the day he woke up babbling in a full of his own traffic jam, realizing he is killing off the best parts of himself and claiming he could breathe people's skin. When he looked down at his heart flap, it said, "Boy, go find your spine and ride it out of here." Wiley's guts said, "Day one." Jordan's arms were fully forgiven. Mary's face, the endless. Tara's knuckles healing. Denise's finger said, "See, see. And Dylan said, my smile, it said, "Fix it." So I came back here to the mouth of the river to look at my own reflection under the moonlight and see what it says for myself. On my whole body, it is written, "P.S. See me for who I am. We got work to do." As for Craterface, I don't speak for that guy. His skin is a brutally beautiful, handwritten letter from the sun. Evaluate field. Woo. Bridget, what time are you supposed to go on? 11? We got Ms. Bridget Brockway in the house. Oh, she's awesome. Y'all ready? Aria, she's not coming. Loser. I'm sorry. I just woke up from my 3 hours of sleep and lots of coffee. So, I keep making that weird noise. I like it.
She just woke up and we're trying to make sure she's sober enough to perform.
Aria? No, junk performance is great. Marsupial.
about previous type rating?
You better get on right. Frank, you get black now. Tell him I want to hear marsupial. So, for all of you who are paying any attention at all and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, there's this fabulous little poet from Dayton who was at Snow Tree in Elyria, which is this 150-hour poetry marathon that they did. And he was really drunk. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And he got up to read a piece called Marsupial. He got up in front of the microphone, he's standing there, and he's like, this poem is called Marsupial. And like falls on the ground laughing. And he got up and he tried to read it a few more times and couldn't get any farther than the title. I don't know, I guess you had to be there.
It wasn't even 2 a.m. at that point.
Wasn't it? No, it was like, are you sure?
Happened when I went out to take my insulin.
No. I lied.
I do that a lot. Do me. I'm
Came
feeling
back
like
in, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on.
Brian was being drunk. Taking my book up.
I'm so sick of this book. I just want to burn every last copy of it. I'm like, I'm done with you. We are so rude. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I want to do that poem again. Okay, so I have this fabulous little book right here. It's $5 for 40 pages and 3 years of poetry. Published by Poetavia Press. You should buy it from me because I'm poor and I just quit my job because I like being treated like a human being. Nice on occasion. Not so much then. I'm gonna read it back.
Yay for unemployment!
No. False. Gay for being able to eat and pay your phone bill. I'm working on that. I'm going to do. So there was a girl that I dated last year. And I moved to California for like a minute. We dated for almost a year. And I moved back to propose to her. And she dumped me. Like you couldn't have. And then I found out that, not only was she not working on getting divorced, she never actually left her wife in the first place. Like, you couldn't tell me that before I got on the plane and moved across the country before you down there. But anyway, so this is the before California and after California poems for her, and we should do disinfectate. Yeah, because I'm excited. Huh? Oh, blue vase, not there, on that table right there.
Get it first.
Oh,
I don't have to see.
I don't want to move.
I told you I do not wake up quickly.
We're poor, yo. We are artists. We are also going to Boston next month from the 18th, or the 8th to the 13th for the National Poetry Slam representing Cleveland, Ohio will be me, the lovely Keem Jamal Rollins right there, Fatal Prose and Blair Bomber, who will be in today. We accept pennies, quarters, $100 bills, anything you want to throw at us. And every little bit does help because it's expensive. The hotel itself is like $1,000 or something like that. And this is a really big deal for us. This is like our Super Bowl. You want it? Is that what you're? So, fill up the base, y'all. The balls, as Blair says. My voice died. Okay, so before and after California poems from Ms. Christine Kipling. Fucker. Hard in the ass with no move. Okay, this is I'm a little bitter. This is called stargazing. Um, on our last night together, we made love, and you held me as I cried. Men aren't supposed to cry, I'm told, but I did. Salty little crystals carried you away from me by the breeze, leaving me empty, like stargazing in a brightly lit city. And then this is the afterglow. This is called oxymoron. I don't know what to think right now, but I remember when I thought the first time I saw your face, and that was, God damn, that girl's smile could put the sun out of business. And I felt for you the instant you kissed me because you fed something in me. Every time you said the word special and amazing, and I became addicted to your smell and your love. But now, after living the last year of my life for the whoosh of your exhale and the snuggling noises you make while falling asleep, I wander alone in the literary department of the main library, contemplating all the signs I ignored while high on your sugar-coated praise. I wonder if everything ends, and ends like this. Because when it comes down to it, you're just like the first. Number one in mind manipulation, and when it comes down to it, yes, my heart's broken, and my lips are chapped from the lack of your kiss, but I don't want you back. Go back to your wife, as if you even left in the first place. Maybe you feel a little bad, but I don't care. I've already shed all the tears I'm going to shed for you. Be honest, it was over when you spelled no, N-O-T-Y-E-T. I'm gonna go outside now and hug a light post and clear the snow off a little patch of sidewalk and exhale my poetry with blue chalk, which was always my favorite color to draw with. I'm not gonna let your betrayal break me, because if there was one thing you emphatically taught me, it was that I need to learn to make it without you. Yay. I'm
Hey, there's 10:30.
10:30. Let's see. I feel like retribution. I feel like my body consenting to me being awake. Not happy. Not happy. This is retribution. The 14 years of my life before I met you were a tormented, desperately hungry search. But I found my home when you took me in your arms for the first time and told me you loved me and that I was beautiful. And all the love I ever knew came from the romance novels I read, which were way over my head, so I thought this is how things went, and I let you touch me. And I didn't feel dirty. Not at first. Guilty maybe, but for the first time in my life, somebody actually loved me. So I made myself believe the lies, transfixing your eyes every time you looked at me with that pedophilic thirst. And yes, Mother, it was your fault. Because you were too busy smoking too much of that religious drug to ever teach me I was worthy enough to say no. And I hate you vehemently for never saying, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't protect you. And Jerry, I hate you even more. What kind of sick, twisted fuck preys on a little girl and then blames her when he's caught? Maybe my therapist is right. Maybe I do hide behind my men's clothes and him and he pronouns because, God damn it, I never want to be beautiful again. I lie awake at night devising your demise. I've got numerous notebooks filled with torturous schemes. But all I really want is to be free. When I look in the mirror, I see you instead of me, and so I break that mirror. And all I'm left with is a bloody hand, a broken heart, and a tainted soul. Yay, happy vote. while we're on that topic, I'll just throw these down real quick. I won't do that. Let's do disambiguate, Kimi. Please? Bridget, will you do it? Yes, Bridget's not losing. Also, she's closer to my height.
I did it twice.
It was your idea to do this thing for. No, that was my idea. Never mind.
Bridget, I did it twice.
He did it twice. Where's my other book?
I don't have it.
Over there, there's one.
Where?
On that table right there.
So, I have a question for you. Any answer?
42, don't forget your top.
Everything weird.
You're white people. What? We might, we've been doing other people's souls. Here you are now. I'm A. You're B. We're both. And when it's got the C, when it's in parentheses, you say it at the same time. It's pretty simple. This is called disambiguate. I hate this
If
microphone.
you stop fondling it, it stays right where you put it. You keep molesting it.
Tell
Salty.
me you didn't just lick my fancy microphone.
No, I didn't lick your fancy microphone.
That's a big book.
Alright, I'm gonna read this poem now. Anyway. Salty. Metallic. The smell fills my nostrils, suffocating me with mentally orgasmic bliss. It slips over my latex glove hands, can't leave prints. I feel so alive.
I'm not crazy, I think, as I wake up shaking. You're not supposed to think these things.
If only they know what goes through my head.
You're not supposed to talk about this.
But really, what's the difference between those who do and don't commit? A choice. We all have a dark side.
And this is
Blood everywhere.
a knife.
Blood everywhere.
Drill.
Wire against the throat, cutting off air supply. And why?
Power. Psychosis.
I'm tired of feeling helpless.
8.
You did this.
It's inside us all.
It's scary, I know. But I think I could do
Pull
it.
the trigger.
Plunge the knife. Instead, I write.
I write to save innocent
And not so innocent.
lives.
I write to release the madness
My
inside.
shadow self I hide.
Because when the day breaks, we're all the same.
Pick your poison.
Murder, rape,
Money, drugs.
booze, fear, love, can't let it win.
It stays locked within.
Only to be shared with my pen.
I kill with my words.
I spill ink, not blood.
And hide my dark side behind a smile.
And a notebook. Hey. I'm out of poems to like this thing. Did you want to go really push it up there?
Yeah.
Here, girl. Is the...
Ask Aria.
Huh?
Is Aria?
Aria?
Aria.
What time is she?
This is for my 30 minutes.
In 4 minutes?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Could we just take a intermission
You get
for
to
4
see.
minutes? Suggest.
I thought, I didn't realize she was in my 30. I was already...
Well, let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Okay. I'm gonna do... The reason I have it written to you, and I'm not gonna fuck it up this time. I'm going to attempt...
Wow. Hi, Aria.
Hello?
Stop doing
I
that!
didn't do it on purpose. It's not my fault. Hi, Aria. She's gonna be glittering with us on Sunday. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
dear God, I did not need to know that.
What?
Never mind.
Honey, I don't know what just went through your head, but a bunch of us are going to the park, dousing ourselves in neon paint and glitter and doing a photo shoot, okay? I'll. Wow. Okay, so one more poem before Aria. The reason I haven't written to you in a while is not that I don't have anything to say, because believe me, I have plenty to say to you, and at the very top of my list is fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! But that would probably make things worse. So instead, I've written for you this little poem, which you will never read, and I'd like to start off by asking, where the hell do you get the nerve to lecture me about how hard it is to raise a baby? What do you think I've been doing since you were arrested? And no, I haven't been sleeping around. If I was pregnant, which I'm not, thanks for asking, it would be Dell. And it was rape, and I don't talk to you about it because I'm not ready to. As for where I want this relationship to go, I can't give you an answer because right now, I don't have an answer to give you. But what I want is a moot point because they won't give our daughter back to me if I'm still with you. And when it comes down to you or her, it will be her because frankly, you can take care of your damn self. She cannot. And just so you know, there are a few things that Till Death Do Us Part does not cover. Like 5 broken bones. And yes, I went home with you that night because I was scared. And yes, I probably would have left if I had had someplace else to go. But damn it, we connected and you were kind. You served me peanut butter and jelly by candlelight. How do you say no to that? I liked the way it felt when you held me. And you put up with my crazy, and I thought I was ready, but I'm not. And for that, I'm sorry. Let's face it, I am 19 years old. What business do I have being married? And yes, I loved you. Yes, I still love you. But love doesn't make everything okay.
Yay, Aria.
Coffee kicks ass.
Also, they have friggin' bubbles.
Oh no.
Hello, Ari. Hello.
Do I go?
Yeah, you can. Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aria Lee.
Alright, this poem is called Planet Toxic Wasteland. Can they hear me?
Yep, we can hear
Yeah.
Okay, alright. This poem is called Planet Toxic Wasteland. You had such potential. The only known habitable planet, really advanced, but you never saw this coming. I know the futuristic forests of this world, not living or breathing, but hot, heavy machines. War is life every day. Rings of fire wrap around, sucking energy from the Earth's very core. This is the fucking world. Look at what you've done. Has it really come to this? Your children have never touched soil, only solid concrete. Only a hologram ceiling mimicking the sky, filtering out sun's ultraviolet rays, never breathed the radiation-filled air without this permanent gas mask, required just to survive. Because of you. This is your world. It's all they'll ever know. Hot, heavy machines, rusting for eternity, rings of fire and ultraviolet sun rays. This is what you've given them. You, who pride yourself a great race. The race able to take the only known habitable environment and turn it into toxic, barely surviving, living wasteland. Your red waters are full of acid. Your black dirt is full of trash. Even your earth is beyond safe. And so are you. And your children. Damn your master race. The master race that drove a planet to toxicity, destroyed the forest and the atmosphere, the dust and the rain, into machines and ultraviolet rays with fire and rust. So now there's nothing left but biohazard butterflies and broken roots. I didn't really put these in any order, so they kind of skip all over the place. This one's actually called Empty Hallways. As the tears kept from my eyes, she laid us down to sleep and closed my eyes and buried me alive. Under her thin sheet, she suffocated me, then left me to sleep. How sad to think that when you left, it was when I asked you to. That you merely said goodbye because I couldn't survive, and I'm sorry. Maybe a new world I'll find, but not within your eyes. No, I'm sorry. But the past empty abyss of mine, I lie in a little place of my own now, humming an old nursery rhyme I heard once. Over the sound of the white noise echoing through the empty halls of this house that you left without a sound because I whispered, "Get out." There was no fight to stay, just the sound of your footsteps drifting away. The sound of the silence faded from my ears. There was no mess, no pain, no tears. She just dropped my hand, let us dissipate, like a spring rain, over the horizon, with the sunset. No morning dew upon the windowsill, just a small scrap of paper saying that I loved you and I was sorry. Hardly the lines of a suicide, but close enough to be classified, and this is a very, very sad little story that I hid within this pathetic little rhyme.
Oh.
This poem is called I Can't Sleep, and it is based on the idea of just the ironic idea of being put in an asylum and everybody's crazy there and then being told to go to bed when obviously that's very difficult. So this one's called I Can't Sleep. I can't sleep, so I write, whispering silent syllables in the dark, trying to remember what the night sky looks like. If only I could see through these padded walls. I can't sleep, and the medication isn't kicking in, so I think. I run through my head all the things I should have said, but I didn't. And now I'm trying to figure out where to go from here. If only I could see the road. I can't sleep, so I close my eyes and pretend to dream. Until morning comes, God knows when that is. Not as it's touched by the sun. No, here it's only the sound of security guards noisily slamming doors, the sound of squeaky nurse cart wheels, the clack of their heels, the senseless rambling and shouting of waking patients. In this asylum, they tell me to sleep, but I can't sleep.
I like your ideas. She's so conceptual.
And purple.
Blue. It's blue, isn't it?
It looks purple over here.
Can we just call it indigo?
This poem is called X-ray. It's kind of like just the idea of if we were able to X-ray our bodies, if we were able to X-ray our emotions, and that's what I based it off. X-ray. I'd like to see the X-ray of a butterfly, the inside of a rose. Doctor, X-ray me, tell me what's inside of me. Is it hollow? Is it ugly? Is it anything you've ever seen? Because I can't feel a thing. I'd like someone to tell me what it is that drives these ultraviolet rays through my skin, through these petals, layer by layer, peeling them back to reveal what's inside, and then to take you down, deep inside my inner working, show you how it feels to live like this every day, deep inside there deep weird thoughts, ever turning like these thoughts inside my brain, inside the inner workings of my brain. Why is it I speak so poetically? But communication is an error. Human interactions equals failure. So just let me slip inside myself and stay there for a while. Because you can't X-ray me. I'm not real. And I'm not sure I ever really existed at all. I've actually read this one before. It's called White Dress. I'll just go. White dress. I walked up to him and I asked him if he liked my dress. Did it make me look pretty? Did it hide my scars? Did I look like all the other girls? Would that make me beautiful? If I painted my face to look like them? Could you love me? If I was anybody but me, would you see me? Do you like my dress? He said, you're still ugly, your scars can through, you'll never be just like the other girls, and for beauty to touch you, you'd have to be viewed through some fucked up person's mind. And as my tears streaked down my face, taking the paint with them, revealing the monster underneath, as I wiped the remains away, all that was left was me. And that ugly dress that he tore from my body before he violated me, before he destroyed me, leaving me ugly. God. Nope. Effort. From the other day. No. He would never touch me.
Ooh, that was gritty!
This poem I wrote about a relationship, like a lot of poems that are written. It's called What We Had Was Never Love. What we had was never love. When I said I loved you, I meant I was lonely and independent. And when you said I love you, it meant I pity you. And every kiss was a failure, a desperate attempt to fill the gaping hole left by another. Every touch was a false pretense trying to pretend we were something we weren't. Because what we had was never love. When I look at you, it's like in your eyes. And when you look at me, you see me. Every time you held my hand, you held it in a beautiful manner. And every time I held yours in return, I was searching for another, but yours was closer. But for this, I thank you. I thank you for trying to do something you never could. Thank you for pretending so I could know everything I would never want. Because yeah, what we had was never love. Sexual desires racing through our heads, but I was the only one with enough sense to know it wasn't love. This was me trying to find another one of him in you. And when you went after me, it wasn't because you loved me. No. It wasn't because you wanted to help me. This was you trying to prove something, and I was just a stepping stone. Because what we had was never love. My anger was not uncalled for. You were just my outlet. And I was just your replacement. I can say this a million ways, fall it out this way and that, but we both know what we had was never love. This poem's called The Mirror Girl. I read this one a long time ago. Mirror Girl. The mirror girl no one can see. The mirror girl stares back at me, showing me what I am, the monster inside of me. The mirror girl opposes me. She is what is in me. The monster, there was nothing to see. But despite my tries, she's always there, and I can't bear. She shows what's inside of me, the part I don't want to see. Showing me who I am behind this mask of mine. The mirror girl has no breath. I scream at her, and still she stands, silent, as a cemetery. Soon, I find the mirror girl is me, staring back unemotionally. The mirror girl inside of me, the part no one sees. She stands as I stand. To break the mirror out of a part, to shatter into a million pieces, and when I smash her, she will break. So even. Then I turn to find she stands right behind, almost laughing, behind the full dull eyes of mine. Then I find she gives me an eye of her, separated only by the fabric. Still, how close we come in this vast distance, just a thread apart. So far we are. Two worlds as one of my own and my own heart. We will depart together forever, she and I, who wants to die. In this world where I am perfect, and she is me, living in a parallel reality. In the end, we are the same, no matter how we walk this way. it's a sequel to Mirror Girl, The Lady in the Lake. So it seems the Mirror Girl is not the only one so different from me. As I sit in the garden, as I look into the pond, the lady in the lake stares back at me. Although she seems just like the Mirror Girl, but she sings a different melody. Instead of laughing at my pain from their lies, she only cries, as she knows she's watching us slowly die. But unlike the Mirror Girl, her eyes reflect no anger, but sorrow. For her and I, when I begin to cry, she ripples away sadly. And I find I still bear the sorrow alone. For when she sees my tears, she ripples home, dispersing in nothingness, leaving me all alone.
I like that sequel.
Me too! We love you, Aria!
This poem is called Stone-Faced Girl. It was actually inspired by statues in the cemetery. Stone-Faced Girl. She's cold and still as she watches the world go by from her post upon the hill. Over a girl's rotting skirts she stands, unknown to most, covered by moss and dying leaves, but her magnificence is now way overshadowed. She watches through the stone eyes, gray and hollow, the goings of the seasons, and the changing of the tides, the moving of time, but through all this hurrying and rushing of the world, she remains silent, still, never questioning or judging, only watching. She's been here longer than she can remember, but time has no stand on her heart of stone, I suppose. This beautiful stone-faced girl on the hilltop, immune to time's sway, here she will stay, till the wind and rain will leave even her stone body to decay.
Yay, Aria! I love you.
You're so
You can't see it, but I'm making a heart with my fingers.
Alright, this one's called Ribcage Full of Wings. I performed this one a couple months ago, or a while ago. Ribcage full of things. I caught a butterfly in my hand. Through Page's fingers, I could see its beauty trapped. In my hand, I held life. And although just a tiny insect, I held a heartbeat. I held beauty, I held a life. And upon these thoughts, I let my hand open and set it free. And I watched it advance, alone in my white dove, in the garden of flowers, waiting for something new to happen. I watched and I wondered what it was like to be so free. I knew if I had wings, I would also abandon me. I would fly far and watch myself fade into a tiny speck upon the ground. I would soar to the sky and reach for the sun. I would be beautiful, and I would have a heartbeat, and I would hold my own life. But, alas, like the beautiful in my caged fingers, my wings would lie cocooned within my ribcage. And I remain in a spiral cage, unable to dream or breathe on my own, suppressed by men who do the thinking for me because I am a woman. But one day, I will break these bonds and let the wings free, and like the butterfly, I shall reach for the sky and the sun, and I will hold my own life.
Yeah. You are a woman, watch you roar. Numbers too big to ignore.
Okay, I wrote this one a really long time ago. It's called Plaster. We sit spreading the plaster on our face, painting ourselves up to be something more than we are, pretending to be anybody but ourselves, until it covers up our lips and our eyes, and we forget what we're seeing, forget it's just pretending who we're being, forgetting everything. Because who we are underneath could never be good enough for society. But what we don't see is everyone in society painting plaster on their face, pretending to be anything but something like themselves. And many claim they want to tear the mask away, but it seems like a disease and the plaster thickens as you apply more and more, covering your mouth, and the words that come out are not your own. And your reflection isn't who you are anymore. And as you dig your fingernails in the mask, the plaster is so deep you can't even find yourself underneath. And the tears you can't feel running down your face have a plastered, false taste. As you blink once, blink twice, and fall back in place, forgetting who you are underneath.
Yay!
Alright, I'm gonna end on a depressing note. That's what I do.
Yay!
Poem's called Little Dying Boy. It's about cancer. Little dying boy. You can hear the children playing outside. Just outside the window. Free as can be. Through the pane of glass, you can see them dance. Play the way he never could. The way he is different. Just a pane of glass, that's all that separates him from them. But it's a little thicker than just sand and water. He wishes he could be like them, but his illness and his mind trapped apart. And just the window is his only connection to the outside world. He wonders what it would be like if he wasn't sick. If he could play and be free like the other children. To run around outside, he dreams. And he dreams. He dreams until he dies. Poor little cancer boy. But now he dances in his dreams with the other children. He shatters the pane of glass and reaches beyond. And in his coffin he lies, dreaming of the grass. And in the ground they will bury him, among the trees, and in the ground, surrounded by the grass, the same things he so longs to touch. Don't fear. In his coffin he will. And he's finally free. That little country.
She makes hating my life so beautiful.
Thanks, Aria. See ya.
Thank you so much. So beautiful.
Am I supposed to end 11?
What time is it?
It's like 1 till.
Huh?
You're good.
You've got
My
1 minute
question-
left.
Okay, do you want me to read like another one or something?
You paid $1 for this minute.
No, Poet Saving sponsor her.
Ah.
Vertigo paid $1 for this minute.
If you want to do one more, go ahead.
Okay. This one's called I'm Sorry I'm Not Who You Thought I Was. I'm sorry I'm not who you thought I was. I'm sorry you said you loved me before you knew me. I'm sorry you wasted my time making me think you cared about me more than you really did. I'm not innocent, and I'm not that sweet. The truth be told, you really don't know me. So don't say I love you. Don't get carried away because I showed interest in you. Don't underestimate me, but don't expect anything. Honestly, I'm not who you thought I was. And I don't blame you. Shifting personalities, wearing different masks. It's hard to find the girl underneath it all, and truth be told, I didn't want you to. I didn't want anyone to. Because if you knew her, you might love her. And if you loved her, she might love you. And if she loved you, then you could hurt her. So it's better this way, really. For you to think I'm someone else than to know who I am. Better to love me before you know me than after. Just trust me on this one, because you could never handle me if you knew me. That's all.
Thank you, Aria.
Thanks.
See you. She makes hating my life so beautiful.
My dad.
Go, Bridget.
Please welcome Bridget Brockway to the stage.
She's got new shit. Just throw my stuff out of the way. I'm not moving.
Oh, it's happy.
Hi. I'm Bridget Brockway.
Wait a second. Let's get you on camera.
Hi. Are there people watching?
There is one.
Okay. So everybody should listen to me? Because I was really, really nervous last night, scurrying around trying to find poems to read. And I would hate for that nervousness
You're adorable.
Thank you. I think so.
Turning the mic on is usually a good idea.
Is it on now?
Yes.
Hi. So,
Cutest thing ever.
so I'm Bridget Brockway. I wrote like tons of poems in high school and college, and I was all poety and stuff. Then I stopped writing poems for like a decade for no particular reason, and then my dear Andrew showed up in my life, and I've been writing again. But I've written like 5 poems in the past 5 years, so I was digging deep.
That's what I do.
So we've got a lot of depressing and angry poetry going on, so I thought I'd start with happy stuff.
Yay, you!
And I want to
You are the yin to my yang, or whichever way it goes.
I want to preface this by, so I was taking this poetry class in college, and there were these 2 girls in the class who were like, they wrote happy, rhymey, mindless poetry, and like it wasn't even good happy poetry, and they were all like, why are you guys always worried about depressing things? And then one of them wrote this poem like to read to the class about how ridiculous we all were for all of the depressing things that we wrote. So I'm like, fine. All the rest of the poems I write this semester are going to be happy, and they're going to be awesome. So I have some happy poems born of passive aggression.
Yay!
And this first one, appropriately enough, is called Joy, Joy, Joy.
Get it, girl.
So yesterday, I'm feeding Ebony her squished squash and bananas in milk, and I lean over her chair to sing a couple of lines of Uptown Girl to her. Well, this smile spreads across her face, like when the moon slides over the sun, leaving only a sliver of blinding light. The smile spread across her face, leaving only a sliver of brown forehead unlined by delight. And when I looked at her mauve lips stretched almost thin over horribly crooked teeth, I had to look away because it hurt my eyes to see the perfect joy of right now eclipsing the disability of every day.
Yay! I love you so much.
You're so cute.
I know, right?
Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to go straight into more happy. Hang on one second.
Damn, you're so cute!
She is my other half.
You're getting overdosed on cuteness.
Oh, I know.
Look at my arm, it's flexing, it won't stop. It's so cute.
Shut up, you're making me turn pink.
You match your shirt. Actually, that's purple.
You're not good with colors today.
Alright,
I'm kind of blindish.
so I kind of just wrote this, and it may or may not be called Halo. I have a little story to preface this. So my mom has a disease called alopecia, and she has no hair at all. And she lost it when she was in her mid-40s. And so one day we're at a funeral, and my sister walks in the bathroom, and my mom is there with my Aunt Betty. Now, Aunt Betty has had skin cancer all over her face and has had a billion surgeries, and her face is very distorted, and she just has this little tiny hole where her mouth used to be. And in the bathroom, my mother was putting on lipstick, singing If I Only Had Some Hair, and my Aunt Betty was brushing her hair, singing If I Only Had Some Lips. That tells you almost everything you need to know about the way I was raised.
Yay.
So this is called Halo, and it's about my mom. And I haven't had the courage to read it to her yet, because I'm kind of morally inept, or emotionally inept. Like
Morally?
Morally inept as well.
I do that to people.
It's just hair, she says, my mom tugging on her wig, 2 for $69 from a magazine with Dolly Parton on the cover. We offered to buy her a real one, the expensive kind, with the real human hair, but she says her sensible acrylic wigs do just fine. She's not trying to fool anyone. She wears the wigs like pants, for decency's sake. She wears her hair, she says, because no one wants to look at a bald old lady. She She says that bald ladies make people uncomfortable, and she's too polite to disrupt. But at home, she wears her bald head with its little tuft of white fuzz in the front, with all the swagger of a playboy on the red carpet. Gypsy hoop earrings, red velvet lipstick, and she looks like an exotic bird who gave her feathers away, only to find a creature infinitely more dazzling than Eve.
Isn't she wonderful?
Yeah.
My mom's wonderful. This poem is not something I wrote. It's by Julia Kasdorf, called What I Learned from My Mother. And even though she wrote it in 1962, she was writing it about my mother. She just didn't know it.
That's how these things work. Ow!
I learned from my mother how to love the living, to have plenty of vases on hand in case you have to rush to the hospital with peonies cut from the front lawn, black ants still stuck to the buds. I learned to save jars large enough to hold fruit salad for a whole grieving household, to cube home canned pears and peaches, to slice through maroon grape skins and flick out the sexual seeds with a knife point. I learned to attend the viewing even if I didn't know the deceased, to press the moist hands of the living, to look in their eyes and offer sympathy, as though I understood loss even then. I learned that whatever we say means nothing. What anyone will remember is that we came. I learned the power to believe I had the power to ease awful pains materially like an angel. Like a doctor, I learned to create from another suffering my own usefulness. And once you know how to do this, you can never refuse. To every house you enter, you must offer healing. A chocolate cake you baked yourself, the blessing of your voice, your chaste touch.
Yay, Bridget's mom.
But she brings chicken soup. She's very healthy. She would never bring you chocolate cake. She doesn't care if you have cancer and you weigh 2 pounds. You're getting soup.
Get soup.
Carrion birds circling crazily over stopped traffic on the highway. Maybe they know something we don't.
KTV folks. You can scoot that chair over.
Meh. Okay. So this is this kind of a poem song by Nick Cave called The Carney, and I'm just going to be poeming. I'm not really going to be singing. I love this piece. You have to imagine like this really creepy calliope music going on in the background. There you go. And no one saw the carney go, and the weeks flew by until they moved down the show, leaving his caravan behind. It was parked out on the southeast ridge, and as the company crossed the bridge, with the first rain filling the bone-dry riverbed, it shone just so upon the edge. Away, away, we're sad to say, Dog Boy, Atlas, Mandrake, the geeks, the hired hands, there was not one of them who did not cast an eye behind in the hope that the carney would return to his own kind. And the carney left behind a horse all skin and bones that he named Sorrow. And it was a shallow, unmarked grave that old nag was laid in the then parched meadow. And it was the dwarves who were given the task of digging the ditch and laying the nag's carcass down while Boss Bellini waved his smoking pistol round, saying, "The nag was dead meat. We can't afford to carry dead weight." Well, the whole company standing about, not making a sound. And turning to the dwarves perched on the enclosure gate, Boss says, "Bury this lump of crow bait." And the rain came hammering down. Everybody running to their wagons, tying all the canvas flaps down. The mangy cats growling in their cages, the bird girl flapping and squawking around. The whole valley reeking of wet beast and rotten sodden hay. Freak and brute creation all packed up and on their way. The 3 dwarves peering from their wagons hind, Moses says to Noah, "Shut it down, go on." Their grizzled faces like dying moons, still dirty from the digging done. And Charlie, the eldest of the 3, says, "I guess the carney ain't gonna show." And they were silent for a minute, wishing they had done a better job of burying Sorrow. And the company passed from the valley into higher ground. The rain beat on the ridge, and on the meadow, and on the mound, until nothing was left, nothing left at all except the body of sorrow that rose in time to float upon the surface of the eaten soil. And a murder of crows did circle round, first one, then the others, flapping blackly down, and the carney's van still sat upon the edge, tilting slowly as the firm ground turned to sludge, and the rain it hammered down. And no one saw the carney go. I say, it's funny how things go. I would like to say that I am personally offended by adverbs. However, flapping blackly down is awesome. Like, that is the best use of an adverb I've ever heard, and it's not even a real adverb.
Those are the best kind. It's like turning nouns into verbs and adjectives. I'm feeling very poety right now. Not my work.
Next time someone says bisexuals don't exist, I'ma disappear. And the next time someone says mental illness isn't real, I'ma go off my meds and move in with them.
I wrote that on the sidewalk.
I saw that. And then one of my grade school friends liked it on Facebook. I don't know what that meant.
I was a little concerned because I didn't ask your permission and didn't want you to be offended. And then I was like, that
I'm
is
a
Bridget.
Yeah, it's me.
I don't know what that means.
My very favorite poet in the world, Sharon Olds,
Yes!
wrote this lovely ditty called Topography.
Yes.
After we flew across the country, we got in bed, laid our bodies intricately together, like maps laid face to face, east to west.
Oh.
My San Francisco against your New York, your Fire Island against my Sonoma, my New Orleans deep in your Texas, your Idaho right on my Great Lakes, my Kansas burning against your Kansas, your Eastern Standard Time pressing into my Pacific Time, my Mountain Time beating against your Central Time, your sun rising swiftly from my right, my sun rising swiftly from the left, your moon rising slowly from the left, my moon rising slowly from the right, until all four bodies of the sky burn above us, sealing us together. All our cities, twin cities, all our states united, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I heart her. Yay.
What am I doing on time?
You've got, how much did you? It's a quarter after.
Oh, that was awesome. Okay.
16 minutes. We started at 11:01.
Alright. This is called The Beautifulest Thing.
Yay.
St. Anne's church bell chimes 4:45 through the crystal cold, and snow sparkles down like glitter. Pinpricks so tiny, I can't feel them land on my pink pale face. In the middle of the street, Stephanie performs a pirouette. In her red dress coat, blued mittens, and old-fashioned rubbers, she reminds me of a statue in a snow globe. Her girlish giggle completes the picture. It's the beautifulest thing, she cries. And it is. I cry too.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah, I wrote that.
That's awesome.
Margaret Atwood, not the cheeriest poet. This is called You Fit Into Me. You fit into me like a hook into an eye. A fish hook, an open eye.
That's pretty cheery.
Ow.
So there's this like super old lady at our church. She's the sweetest thing. She's brilliant. She's like one of
Is that Jean's book?
It's Jean's book.
Ah!
She's an amazing poet, and I love her very much. This is called Love Stretches Its Wings, and the book is Songs of a Life Together by Jean Schenkel Sumbaski. Love stretches its wings, token pennies on a dollar exchange, you say. I say love cannot be measured, its value cannot be proved or disproved, but those who have it know. It lifts the quality of life from swamp to sky, and you are never more alive than when you are among the clouds.
Yay, Gene.
And another one from Jean, a hero. You loved me well when I was young. I loved the white steed on which you rode to me. As your care increased, your glitter intensified. Yes, you loved me well when I was young. I have this memory from my treasure chest. Care, concern, and hope I have for history can repeat itself, and white steeds never die.
I love you, Jean. She is wonderful.
There were a lot of people here last night.
I'm so sad. If I'd known there were going to be so few people, I wouldn't have been panicking quite so much. Also, I'm not shaking because I'm nervous. I'm shaking because so much coffee happened this morning.
You shake all the time.
It's true. I'm shaking really hard today.
Yeah, I noticed.
Okay, so speaking of people named Jean, this is a poem I wrote to and about my best friend Jean.
Yay.
It's called To My Jean.
Oh.
One day, you and I will be old ladies together, having loved each other for 60 years or more. And when I come to your place, we'll sit on real furniture instead of milk crates. And we probably won't talk as much about boys, or jobs, or your mom or my dad. You won't be worried anymore about if you'll get into med school, and I'll probably figured out what I want to be when I grow up. Maybe. And you'll still hate onions, and I won't be able to eat them raw anymore. And Long Island iced teas will probably be out too. You'll still knit, and I will have never learned how, no matter how hard you try to teach me. I'll tell you that I sometimes wish I'd had grandkids. And men won't be forever eyeing you from across the room anymore, but you'll still be as beautiful. And when they do eye you, I'll still give them dirty looks because they will never be good enough for you. And I'll probably still call you in the middle of the night when I have a bad dream. And I'll still be as lucky as I am today for having you.
Oh my goodness. But you can knit.
I know I can knit, and she decided not to go to medical school. And I don't even remember drinking Long Island iced teas with her. I don't drink Long Island
That's
iced
the
teas.
thing about Long Island iced teas.
I don't know if that was a phase or I blocked it out or what.
You should tell the monkey story.
Which monkey
The
story?
Jean and monkey story.
Oh, okay. This is the most embarrassing moment of my life, and it's not a poem.
Gary
So-
Moses is flattered as hell for the feature invitation, by the way.
Huh?
Gary Moses flattered as hell for the featured invitation. Invitation feature.
So-
And that you're reading his book.
I love him so hard.
Okay, so my best friend and I were up in Put-in Bay. And we were unaware that Put-in Bay is like a big island of sketchy people trying to have casual sex with people way more attractive than they could actually get. And my best friend is friggin' gorgeous, like supermodel, giant boobs, whatever. The guys would not leave her alone. They left me alone. It's cool. They wouldn't leave her alone. They were like making things miserable. So we agreed that the next time one of them, got really annoying, we'd stand up and start shrieking like monkeys and run away. And I was under the impression she was serious, because this guy was hitting on her, and he was getting really annoying. So I stood up, and like we're outside, and like this big party outside, so I stood up and I went, and ran. First of all, she didn't do it, and she didn't run. Secondly, I tripped and fell flat on my face as I was running away. The end. I think it's time for some Jack Kerouac.
Yes. He's like saying this is
This is Silly Goofball Poems by Jack Kerouac, Part 1. The moose is a noble dolt. The elk is a fool. The rhinoceros is the biggest bore of them all. The hippopotamus is a giant river pig. The hyena is a striped dog who thought he was a laughing horse. The tiger is a queer cat who by the power of his queerness became a great jowl cat. The tiger is pure cat. The panther hates cats. The cheetah is a dog who thought he was a fast cat. The giraffe is a horse who grew fond of treetop leaves. The snake has a body beautiful, and the elephant is the lord. The hook unfurls his trunk, the long-lashed eye. The sloth is a Chinese poet, upside down.
Yes.
The anteater is a long-nosed investigator of villages. The scorpion is a sea spider trapped on land. The whale is more so. The man is very strange. Part 2. The spider monkey is a little fool. The Pekingese doll is a dog. A dachshund is a snake full of love. The Siamese cat is an angry monkey. The woman is a cellular mesh of lies and also a scratcher. The woman has a dark blossom between her thighs. The Buddha is known. The Messiah is unborn. The boll weevil is a pants rotter. The worm is a long history oozing out of who? Who? No? Woo! The dog is a god. The dog is a balker. The leopard is incontinent, said Dante, free from the severity of leopard. The angel rules the jungle. Blake is Blake. The cow has its own way with water, and the tick sticks in your hair and swells. The shark I never saw. The purple-ass baboon is insane. The sparrow is a little gray bird. The American, a sniper. The gull, a bringer of snail shells. The parrot, I love. True story. The snail knows the unborn void of how, and that's why he left his house for golf. The seabird is all belly. Crows are dawn singers. The bee hums busily. The frog leaped out of water. The abominable snowman is not abominable at all. He doesn't hurt anybody. The rat has many theories. The spider means money. The fly has 7 million brothers. The seal is on my roof. The goose goes north, north. The robin wins the spring. The caterpillar waits. The nightingale I have been. The mockingbird loves TV aerials. The rabbit, the vulture trails a puma. The wolf snaps the bear. The lizard, the eel, the octopus. The tapeworm, the finger, the cup. The germ, the fingernail, the wall. The swordfish has a beak of wood. The lobster is friendly. The flea leaps. The cockroach is reverenced. The bedbug rolls.
I can't get over how beautiful you are.
I have to confess I don't understand that poem at all, but it's so cute I don't care.
That may or may not have been intentional.
5 minutes? Okay. So now I have a depressing poem for you.